Welcome back to our perfect deity game here in the Adrenaline. We're playing as Amina, and we moved from Egypt to the Exploration Age. We achieved a lot of different things, and the map had a lot of different opportunities in itself. We were able to capture quite a couple of settlements up north from Augustus, and we were able to achieve our Pax Imperatoria military legacy path that way. We were able to make 8 wonders, including Angkor Wat right at the end. You know, we were able to achieve quite a few different things. And there's a cool landscape across the map as well, because, you know, there's all these natural wonders like Mount Everest that we found and were able to settle around and gain the adjacency buffs off. And that allowed us to find Vinishunka. And, you know, we were able to occupy quite a few luxurious places, both for resources and other benefits. And, you know, we had Pachacudi fallen in love with us. We were good terms with Xerxes. We ended up falling out with Hatshepsut, and of course, you know, Augustus doesn't like us for taking some of his territory, so he left rather exposed. So where does that leave us? Well, we're also only on one side of the map, right? A lot of the time, I'm able to secure at least maybe 1 or 2 settlements on the other side of the map and have access to both sides of the naval territory that we'll be needing for our economic treasure fleets in the next age. So that might leave us with a couple of problems. We're going to probably want something militaristic for that, because we want to be able to defend and potentially attack if we need to take certain settlements to fulfill these objectives. With it being relatively new, with it being kind of situational for our particular circumstances, with 10 of the 12 civilizations unlocked, I decided to go Bulgaria. Expansionist and militaristic, and let's have a look why. Okay, so Krum's dynasty, as you can see, they already are these, which will give us potentially combat bonus and potentially, I don't know, food, something pretty useful in regards to that. Krum's dynasty, receive food to all towns with pillaging improvements equal to 50% of the yield of 8 or HP gained. Like, I don't know if I pillage that often. Maybe I should incorporate that more into my gameplay, but we'll see if that becomes relevant. All combat units receive -3 combat strength against districts and medieval walls. So medieval walls is a little bit out of the way, because in most of the science paths, I like to go down basically the south route, where, you know, arguably better yield buildings are for like gold, culture, science, and so on. However, if need be, we can always take a detour and maybe even get a city-state to give us technology for free, or something like that, and pick up some of the like top route production-based buildings that will allow us to potentially build these medieval walls. Because I usually think medieval walls are in that top route, which we don't usually use. And then plus 30% production towards constructing a Relay Monastery. I have yet in a single game to be able to construct Relay Monastery. I don't know why, I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, it is insanely difficult to get rid of the monastery. It is not something I can ever prioritize first, even though it is quite nice, right? I think it's something along the lines of you get a relic for each wonder that you build. But in any age that isn't the Antiquity Age, we're not going to be, you know, really pressed for trying to make a density of wonders. Rather, we're going to want specific wonders that help our particular aims. I really want to have Escorial in all of my games if possible, but that's been a bit difficult of late, because of the settlement limit, and also because of the bonuses for distant lands to help boost their ability to function. So I don't know if we ever actually managed to make this, but hey, at least we got a buff for it if we can. The unique units and buildings, the Bolvar, the Bulgarian unique cavalry unit, it ignores rough terrain for movement and opposing units combat. Okay, so if the opponent's in rough terrain, then they don't have as much defense. Okay, plus 3 combat strength when this unit is fighting on rough terrain. Okay, that's cool. Ignore zone of control. It's a horse, so they usually don't. Tarkan, Bulgarian unique army commander, faster. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know the word faster means. I don't know in context how much faster. Like more movement, more tiles. I don't know. Its movement is greater range. I don't know. The units in its command radius can pillage for no movement cost. And again, synergizing with all of this, with the pillaging and getting food to the towns for it. I don't know if this is something I really care about, but we'll see if I use it. And then finally the Hidden Fortress, which is plus 4 production, must be placed on an existing improvement on rough, not adjacent to another Hidden Fortress. Units on this tile gain stealth. Bulgarian unique improvement counts as fortification, plus 6, that's a lot. Combat strength when defending. Ageless does not remove warehouse bonus on top. Now, I think some people really like this. I think some people are particularly drawn to it just being a raw amount of production. But for me, I find most of the tiles I use in any settlement tend to end up getting consumed by either districts, especially if it's in a city, obviously. And so really, I find this stealth thing a bit strange. Because if this is player versus player, once someone uses something from stealth, you know it's there, but maybe you can't attack it. Maybe you're not allowed to attack a unit that's on stealth, so it's permanently stealthed. It's a very strange concept. Let's see if we can figure out what it does. Okay, it's turn 1. There's a lot of things we need to sort out. So let's start out by the exploration age has begun legacy points allocation. So, fealty is very important. You can see if we look at the map, we're currently -3 or 3 over our settlement cap, and our happiness is just hovering over 0, so we want to try and alleviate that. We don't have anything for our military, so we're going to want to invest, so we'll give this for now. Wonders, you get +1 culture and +1 happiness. I think that is something we definitely want, especially considering you know, our happiness value right now isn't exactly the best. How are we in comparison to everybody else? Like, look, everybody else has almost 3 digits, if not already there, and we're at 33. So we definitely want to be ameliorating that situation. I would like to get to the +10% culture in cities with at least 1 wonder. We already had 3, assuming we get to keep them. So we're going to want to do that as well. All your cities are main cities. Yes, I think so. We have 3. +5 gold for every trade route. Yes, I think so. And then we can get +12 on that too. And probably get a point. And I definitely make Aquileia strategically right up here our capital, because of course we're going to want to try and protect this northern nice and clean line border in case any nonsense from Augustus. The government, we're going to go plutocracy. Science and tech, we go astronomy. I wish there was a default remove all to these things, because I want to kind of see their base values to see where I need to put more effort in. Any sort of like pre-allocation kind of gives me an unwanted bias to what actually is needed where. So now we can see that Oisette is still our biggest production producer, but we'll need some happiness. So let's balance the happiness and give some food to back it up. And then we have the Debt City. It would be nice if we had more of these dates, but we don't. So I guess we go here with this. And try and make all our main cities positive in happiness if possible. I mean, go here, here. This will be enough to get back to positive, so that's cool. And then we can allocate these however we wish. Of course, don't forget they do give you a bonus of +2 gold and +2 happiness if that is something you want. But usually they give you better bonus being put into these slots. So let's try and figure out what we want to do with that. So here, the capital, +10% culture, 19 versus, well, that's 27. So arguably we kind of want to put this here. We want to put the culture stuff here because that's going to give us an overall bigger yield for each. 29 is now over 28, so we could consider putting this here. So we might as well do that. For these values, we can. Well, what's the debts? That doesn't have any food at all, so we probably want to put the food there. Put the food both in Bidet. So now Bidet has a comparable 17 food compared to the 19s in the other places. And then we just, I don't know, put all these here, and we don't need to worry about this one because frankly we don't have machineries yet to even build. So let's see how the game progresses from here. Well, we beeline for piety, and now it's time to make our religion, shall we? So let's pick our usual. Of course, I like to have icons, so it's nice that it's available because it can often be gone pretty early. And then shrines is economy, +4 culture, gold, and science for every wonder and other civilization settlements. If we can build enough missionaries to be going around everybody else, then sure. But obviously our priority is the relics, from icons. So let's lock that in and continue the turn. Well, here we are, one turn away from trying to seize Vilnius, as you see here. And of course, we're in familiar territory again, because Xerxes this time is moving units to try and disband and destroy our precious city-state. We also have Kiev down here, taking a little bit longer, but looks a little more safe. So, with the passing of the turn, we should be good, right? Because it looks like we've defended it well enough. We have a unit even in their territory, which I think is usually not available, but hey. Whatever we need to do to try and ward these units off. Huh?
Wealth circulates. The map.
There it is. We have managed to secure the safety of Vilnius. It's turn 14 and we're on the move. But as you can see, despite our units, we are really failing to find any decent treasure resources. We have a settler over here, settler over there. And we're not really finding much. It's very barren. Like, not much land to speak of, and just not much in the way of resources either. To make matters worse, we're now getting invaded again by a huge army from Augustus, all the way north from here. You can see all these units. And not only that, our own volcanoes are just constantly damaging and killing our units. This was a full health unit when I made it, and then the volcano erupted again, and now we have problems again. Wow, has this been an annoying age to deal with. You know, not all ages can be straightforward and simple. Sometimes you just have to have a really annoying age. Our Bolvar meets their knight at equal strength. Can't really do much more than to just try and fight it. I don't really have, I mean, you need to be healed, but again, the issue is I can't get anywhere safe from these volcanoes because they are everywhere. So we just go over here and deal with this. By the way, this tile has the hidden fortress. So I don't even know if I want to go here. If I don't, this unit almost certainly dies. They may die anyway. I can go up to here apparently from here with this unit. Oh, it's an absolute mess. We also can't really afford to repair everything. I mean, we can, but like, this just kind of shows you what's going on here. The volcanoes are just ruining everything. With all the chaos and violence that's been going on, we find ourselves struggling to generate the economic points that we need, the treasure fleets, to get that legacy path underway. If we have a look at our resources, you can see that the only town that we have, Tarnovo, is generating 2 treasure fleet points in an additional 2 turns every 4 turns. That's nowhere near going to be quick enough in our online speed game to be able to, with the chocolate and the spices, get enough points. So we need to do something pretty desperate. And what it is to go to war with Friedrich, hopefully take Fluffy. As you can see, we might be able to even take this tile. And we take both of these treasure fleet resources. And from there, maybe we can take a couple more settlements and generate our own resources. Because quite frankly, if we don't take something from their continent, we're just not going to end up with enough. So let's do it. Declare war with Friedrich.
Auf in die Schlacht! Ihr Strolche!
We have a +3, which is nice, and we have more than enough, well, we have just enough influence to make it +5, so that should help us pretty considerably. We're going to be generating 78 more influence per turn to replenish that. And so, to war it is, with not really much other choice. We'll probably want to put our fleet commander here. Here, we'll go here, like this. And then we're going to want to do a barrage land target and generate our first commander level. You can select on the tile, on the unit icon itself. and get ourselves towards closer to the where is it? The spotter. The +1 range attack distance from naval units within Canadian radius. That's going to help us tremendously. 40% on the clock now, and we're about to get our first point on the milestone of enlightenment in science. We also have finally been able to secure our love with Himiko. Of course. This again. But I want to do this anyway. Why would that matter? Okay. Very strange. Anyway, speaking of the war effort, we are in the process. Let's scoot these guys a little bit over. I don't want to do this because I'm worried it's going to exhaust all my movement if I go there. Move over here and here and here and here. Move the fleet commander in the middle. And I do want to destroy this. And if we can destroy this and get onto this tile, then we should be able to take control of Knossos. So let's have a look at what we can do. I don't know if it's better for us to go with the rapid fire or whatever it is, the group attack. I'm worried about that because it might just soak all the damage into the city district, and clearly we don't need all our shots just for that. So I'm always concerned whether it will do that. Now that we have that, we can finish up with this. Batters land target. Coordinate attack this. It doesn't work. It does exhaust my unit. That's really annoying. Anyway, it's just like, there's still bugs in this game, and just one has to work around them. With just over 50% on the age timer, you can see that we did indeed peace out with Friedrich and take Survar Nergiri, which is helping us with getting 2 points for every 4 turns towards that treasure fleet thing. But what I'd like to talk about here is, unfortunately, one of those things which isn't necessarily a glitch or an immediate need for a hotfix or anything, but would be nice. And that is, when you capture a place, holy moly, does it hurt when they've kind of ruined the location for you. In this case, we have Afanai, and back in the resource tab, you can see that, of course, they are indeed giving us one. It's not great, but, you know, it's a treasure fleet. But we're having to navigate these treasure fleets all the way past around here. Look, we get obstructed by this. It's just going to take longer and longer. All because, of course, the fishing key is on this side of the, you know, settlement. And it's like, can I not just, you know, delete their fishing key so that I can maybe marry it with the shipyard, have a quarter here, ageless with a current age building, and have a much easier direct route so that, you know, like this treasure fleet and so on, we're able to get there in a few turns and not like a dozen. It's just, you join us as we're about to say goodbye to Knossos. Passing this hand, you can see this settlement get raised. There we go. We can still potentially take this tile though, which would be nice. One thing I want to show off is how nice it is that a new update has given us very clear distinction on what we have just completed. When there's so much to think about in this game, it's nice that the game can kind of like do its best to help support the things that you need to remember. And simply just something like telling you what you've built before is just very helpful in regards to, like, you know, we built the Bazaar and gave us plus 17 gold. So just tell us what it is. It also tells us, you know, what it's done for us and how much use it is. While we may be at war, this will be our last turn. As you can see, there's 84% on the clock. We have completed both culture and science legacy tasks. We have economic and military left. We have 2 points required for military, and we're not going to take any more places. But don't forget, we also get points doubled, sort of thing, if we convert the places we have attained in distant lands to our religion. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We have a missionary here for the rural, watch these 2 symbols, rural conversion of Suvarnagiri. And of course we have another missionary for the urban, and there it is. We get our duplication, or double, or 2 points, and the milestone is complete. And now, if we can follow that up with these plus 2s. Any more? This over here. There it is. You can view the progress again. All 4 legacy paths have been filled out wonderfully. And there it is, 100% on the clock, and we're good to end the turn. The exploration age has come to an end, and we'll have a look at how we did. Let's have a look at our details, shall we? Up here, legacies, 25 over 12 of Pachacudi. So, again, over double anybody else. Managed to make good on all of this. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to like it. Maybe follow the channel, leave a comment below, and I'll see you then.